Call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rachakodash, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone of rule well. I am not a member. However, I've entered into their labors. Peace, mercy, blessings to the sincere brothers and sisters doing this, wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. We're going to let this play. We're going to get a couple precepts, the usual schedule. I ain't going to say nothing. I'm going to just let this play. Well, I may stop it. I ain't going to lie. I'm going to stop it, but here we go.
To the Culture Secretary, Oliver Dowden, and I began by asking him whether he thought the stolen Benin bronzes should be owned by Nigeria.
Well, I think that they properly reside in the British Museum. Now, that doesn't mean to say that we shouldn't work with the government in Nigeria to see how we can share it with them.
Forgive me, and I understand.
And you want to share what you stole. And watch as he deflects. He will never just answer the question. He will deflect, and he won't use the word. He won't admit to stealing, or during the period of colonization. He won't even admit. He won't even say the word stole. They say acquired, and that is the epitome, or or should I say the textbook definition of being fork-tongued, because he's very, politely toned and smiling, but nothing is coming out of his mouth but complete horse shit.
Sharing, but they were stolen. Do you not think that they should be owned by the people that they were stolen from in the first place?
Well, I think that the problem with this, and of course, if we go back to things that happened in the 19th century and judge them by our values of today, it's completely unacceptable. But
controlling the narrative.
My concern about this is, where do you actually draw the line with this? The collections of our great national institutions have been developed over many, many centuries, in many times in questionable circumstances. I think the question now is about what we do with these. I love the Benin bronzes. I've seen them many times throughout my life, and I think them being in the British Museum, which is a world repository of heritage, allows people to see it. But look, that doesn't stop us from sharing it.
Okay, but ownership is key, right?
Yeah.
And the Nigerians say that when they get them back, they would almost certainly be happy to loan them back to you. But the fundamental problem is that they were stolen from the Nigerians and they want to own them.
I completely accept that they were acquired at a time.
You see, the acquired. You stole them. Stealing. I gathered a bunch of precepts here. You can screenshot this. So we'll go in line, right? So we'll go to Job 20 and 15. But I actually want to see what it reads in the NLT, and then we'll get it in the we'll go to KJV shortly after. 20 and 2:15. Poisonous venom in their stomach. Let's see. They will vomit the wealth they swallow. God won't let them keep it down. They will suck the poison. Oh, wait. So, yeah, they will vomit. The point I wanted was 15. They'll vomit the wealth that they swallow. So, all of the things that are in these museums, and especially in the Vatican, good grief. Theft from all over. So now it's spreading democracy, but then it was, coming under the Holy Roman Catholic Church and all about white Jesus and conversion. So let's read it in the KJV. He has swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. Yahweh shall cast them out of his belly. So everything that you've taken, you'll lose it. You see, never ever trust a bald face anymore, and somebody in a tie and a bald face.
of rampant colonial expansion in Africa.
And the cognitive dissonance is just unmatched. These people set a world record for cognitive dissonance and don't seem to, or whether they understand or not is just beside the point. But the benefit that they've had from the theft of land, of our people, our people, period, because majority of Nigerians are Israelites. You can tell the difference between a Hamite and an Israelite. So, the theft of land, the theft of property, free labor, all of these things, they've built empires on. They've gotten rich off of things that don't belong to them, and that's the part that they pretend that they don't understand. And since they've become on top, and since they've got everything that they needed now, let's just forget about it. That was then. Meanwhile, anything that happens to them, and usually it's retaliation because they are the aggressors and the oppressor, or usually it is people acting out of necessity for self-defense. They take it a step further. So they hit you in the mouth, you kick them in the leg, and they say, "How dare you kick me in the leg?" And then they pull out a gun and shoot you on an international level. Unbelievable. Psalms 58 and 4. Let's go to Psalms 58. So straight to the point. No, we want 3. 2. Okay. Yea, in heart you work wickedness. You weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And when they had a chance to go about in their little season, when they were released from that bottomless pit and, to go and deceive, the Bible says they went to deceive. So as soon as they got a chance to get back into leadership and in a rulership, they went and lied. Steal, kill, destroy, rape, lie. These are all indicative traits of that Cain spirit, who later comes back and is born as Esau Edom, who is the so-called white man today. And that's Elder Malcolm always loves to point out. I love when they wear white shirts, because your skin is red. That shirt is white. Verse 4, their poison is like the poison of a serpent. And that is that same spirit in Genesis 3, or is it 6? We'll get that in a second. The poison is like a serpent. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth her ear. And they just don't want to hear any reason, anything about being just, anything about being upright. This is a purely carnal beast, and you cannot reason with a beast. What was it? I believe it's Genesis 3, but that's that same serpent spirit that they have. And there's all kind of clues in the Bible that points you to who this man is. Yep, so Genesis 3, you can read that on your own. I don't want to make this too long. So you can see that at the top. And again, it was not a snake. The serpent has characteristics of that do what thou wilt spirit, and that is what put Eve in transgression. And this is not something that just happened overnight. It was little by little And Eve may have suggested some things that were against the statutes and commandments that Yahweh provided to Adam via orally. And he gave Adam his way. And little by little, Eve was like, well, we should do this. And, maybe Adam relented. So as she was deceived, and Adam hearkened, because they listened to that fork-tongued devil who said, thou shalt not surely die.
The circumstances that I'm not in any way going to sort of defend or condemn with the values of the 21st century. I think, though, the more important...
So no real stance. You're not going to defend it, nor are you going to condemn it. You can't even say when wrong is wrong. Pride. We'll get Isaiah 47:8 and Habakkuk 2. And that's them, the pride that oozes off of them. Excuse me. The pride that oozes off of them almost comes off as a spiritual stench. Isaiah 47:8, 7. And thou sayest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasure, thou that steal everything from everyone, thou that put forth a polluted doctrine within the world, and have everyone to drink of that wine, and that is why these nations will be destroyed right along with you. Thou that dwellest carelessly, that sayeth in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day. The loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. Oh, Habakkuk. The point is in 5, but 4. Yes, 4. Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith. And the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, who are the true and biblical Israelites, especially that the remnant, that 1/3, we know that we can't beat this devil at his game. Carnality is his blessing. So when you understand that you live by faith, he can't touch the spiritual. He can't tap into the spiritual. There is a veil between him and our gift of faith and being spiritual and being able to trust in the Lord, because that is the only one who is going to take him down. The Lord built him up just to show his power as he rips him down. Remember, behold, Babylon fell in 1 hour, or it will fall, I should say, in 1 hour. Verse 5, yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, neither keepeth at home, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
Important question is how we ensure that the world can enjoy this marvellous heritage.
A letter will soon be sent, mandated under international law by the Nigerian government, to the British Museum, formally requesting return. You and I know that would also require laws, the Heritage Act and the British Museum Act, to be revoked or at least amended. Is that a realistic prospect?
No, we have no plans for doing that.
We not giving you your stuff back. We stole it, buddy, fair and square, and we profit off of it. And everything I love, my God, is money. So you're not getting it back. So as you can see, we have Daniel 7 and 8. And that little horn is America. So that same spirit, because these nations, France and Spain and Britain, they kind of were like the tip of the spear. Excuse me. They were kind of like the tip of the spear when it came to colonization, right? And then, America had its manifest destiny in that same spirit when they came over here and decimated the Northern Kingdom, stole everything, and then wrote laws. And then within the laws, they wanted to pay $5. They just couldn't have enough. Look up the term of a $5 Indian. And that is why you have these clear and apparent looking Edomites talking about that they're 1/8 Cherokee. Sit thou in the dust. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 8. Let's go to that real quick. Oh, too far. Straight to the point. And then shall the wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. How long, O Lord? And I pray that, that is one of my prayers, that the Lord remember mercy in his day of wrath when he shows up. Because the day of the Lord is darkness and not light. I pray that I'm on the right side. All of us who are sincere and those of you who are listening and trying to turn your life around, not according to the tenets of a false religion, but according to the law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible, because you know who you are and you understand the responsibility that comes with knowing who you are. But how long? Because he's not going to stop. When he was created, the Lord, that's also the power of the Lord shown right there. When he was created, a perfect devil was formed. And you can also go into, I'll do my best to link I don't know if I can find a Daniel 7, but I know that there is a Revelation 17 breakdown. So I will do my best to link that. But the point I wanted was the 17, 10, and 11, and it talks about the 5 fallen. So we'll go there real quick. And I will do my best to find videos to link so you have an exhaustive breakdown, or so to speak, or exhaustive lesson on these scriptures here. What did I say? 7 and 11? 17 and 11. Okay, so there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen, and the one is, and the other is not yet come, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space, right? So that's that little season. And the beast that was and is not, even he is the 8th and is of the 7th, and that 8th is America. So, an Edomite is an Edomite is an Edomite. They love to try and say that they're not. They love to try and name themselves after the lands that they've stolen. But, an Edomite is an Edomite is an Edomite. And you can tell by the spirit, that pride that oozes off of them. And if you're spiritual enough, it even gives off a stench, and you know it from a mile away. So just, so the 5 are fallen, Germania Major and Germania Minor, France, Spain, and Greece. And that's verse 10. So that's really all I had. And like I said, I'm going to do my best to find those 2 videos, especially the Daniel 7. And of course, you see that little horn again, I put in the notes in Daniel 7 and 8, because you had the 3 horns, which is France, Spain, and Britain. They vied for the control. I believe they all also, vied for control over this land, Arsareth, aka America. And that little horn is America. Which, don't confuse that. I shouldn't even said that, because it's not even, disregard that I said that, because I don't want to lead into confusion. It's two different things. So disregard that I said that. Just know, in Daniel 7 and 8, that little horn is America. So with that being said, let me let me end it right there, because I don't want to lead into confusion, and that wasn't the point of this. So, all right. So shalom.